Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Inshallah, you're well. Welcome to part 3 of the shock and truth why men don't wear the hijab. Okay, so I'm just going to go into this straight away because I'm really hot. So let's get down to some principles now. Actually, sorry, I just need to have a bit of more water. As I said, it's really hot today. Easily 30 degrees, I would imagine. And I forgot to get the fan in. So anyway, so now we're now slowly getting to the crux of the matter and the important points. So let's get down to some principles now. Principles that we can, I'm sure, inshallah, all agree on. Principle 1: time changes everything. Okay, common sense, reasonable. We can all agree on that. Principle number 2: nothing is permanent. Again, yep, reasonable. We can all agree on that. That is the rule of life. Civilizations, so societies and communities. So the United Kingdom is one civilization. America, the United States of America, is another civilization. China is another civilization. Civilization is everything: culture, the social setup, the law and order, the way people live, the system of governance, the military. Everything is civilization. All that constitutes civilization. So Britain has a civilization. Britain has a parliamentary system. Then we have the monarchy. We have a population of people. We have defined borders and so forth. So that's population. I mean, that's civilization. Civilizations stand and fall. Societies get run down. Nations go backwards and decline. Cultures shift. Political systems get overhauled. Governance, rules and laws change continually. Shifting law and order, peace and civil order is not a permanent feature of civilization. History shows you that for most of history, that is, most of history, humans have operated by the law of the jungle. Killing, looting, pillaging, raping, enslaving, crucifying, cannibalizing, colonizing, genociding, and all the evil rest. Now, here's the shocker. One day, it could be in a year, 10, 50, 100, 200, some of us, or all of us, we will almost certainly return to that anarchy and lawlessness again. That is, if some of us in some parts of the world aren't already there and haven't already experienced it. Now, let that sink in for a second. You don't think the Syrian Sunni man who was only going to buy some milk at the shop to then be captured by the government forces, then tortured, have his fingers, eyeballs removed, his scrotum sliced open, and then left to bleed out, starve and rot in a packed cell, drenched in blood and human excrement, doesn't believe he's already there? How about his neighbour bringing her little daughter home from school? She would be kidnapped with her child only to watch in despair her mother being assaulted in front of her by 5 laughing officers. Don't you think she believes she's already there? Maybe not permanently, maybe not everywhere at the same time or in the same degree. Even the European Dark Ages didn't last forever and happen uniformly, but it will come and go, I imagine. You will get bursts of enlightenment like you're seeing now. Copernicus, Shakespeare, Chopin, Einstein, Steve Jobs and Joe Rogan, civil order and good laws protecting citizens, cultural enrichment, positive discrimination, greater equality and safety for all, elected leaders, democracy, peace and prosperity, where women can wear what they want, feel relatively safe, dogs and cats have insurance, blacks have equality, Tesla dreams of a holiday to Mars, and then periods of depression, stagnation, anarchy, dystopia, lawlessness, corrupt leaders, oppressive tyrants and regimes, war, disease, decline, and so on and so forth. That has been the cycle of history. Some parts of the world today are already much like that. Please don't be fooled for 1 second by the last 50 to 60 years of relative peace and social order. It is an aberration, not the norm. Don't be fooled. By the comfortable safety of a liberal Western democracy. Out of 6,000 years of civilization, the West has only been at the front for 200. Think about that. Everything you see around you, the skyscrapers, the jet planes soaring over your head, shops packed with fresh and exotic food, supercomputers in your pockets, being able to video call somebody in the remotest part of the world, being able to order food to the front door, reliable banking and economy is all just a dot in history. Man has the capacity to destroy everything. It has achieved, learnt, built, cultivated in one afternoon. And it has in the past. Repeatedly. What has happened to the once glorious Roman civilization? All it has to show for itself is a dilapidated Colosseum, and that's it. And yes, we can visit it as a tourist, so I suppose that's a plus. What has happened to the clever Greeks? All we have is a broken Parthenon to show for it. What happened to the once mighty King dynasty? All we have are the terracotta army ruins to show for it. What happened to the once mighty pharaohs? All we have are the pyramids, the Sphinx, to show for it. What happened to the once mighty Achaemenid Empire, the Persians? All we have are the ruins of Persepolis to show for it. Where are the Guptas? Where are the once powerful Mauryas? Where are the Mughals, the Mongols? Where are the Umayyads, the Ottomans, the Austro-Hungarians, the socialists of the USSR, or even the British territories? And you think what you see in your life now, around you, that civilization, will be any different? Now that is some hubris there, even if I say so myself. Because it doesn't take much to disentangle the hard-earned thread of civilization and peace. Germany went from the most industrialized, civil and intellectual nation on earth to using that same technology and industry, their intelligence, to savagely, methodically gas 6 million Jews at an industrial scale. Bosnia, the last European genocide. 8,000 Bosniak Muslim men and children killed cold-bloodedly. Rwanda. Look at what is happening in Western China, East Turkestan, to the Uyghurs. We all know the writing is on the wall. Liberal democracy is on its way out. With China at the helm, nations will again fall back to dictatorships and strongman politics. The trend has already started. Then one day, we will not be living out our lives in these secure, civil-ordered, pampered environments we have gotten used to in the last 40 to 50 years. After weathering, be it a famine, a nuclear war, a new ice age, pandemics and revolutions, social convulsions, you don't know what card you'll be dealt with. You might end up in a jungle autocracy, or a desert kingdom, or a west coast tyranny. We might return to serfdom, tribalism, tyranny, kleptocracy, autocracy, aristocracy, fiefdoms, lordships and anarchy in some parts. Globalism is ending. Nationalism is on its way back. Sectarianism and wars will increase. The writing is on the wall. You've been warned. All of a sudden, like most of our history, from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age to the Iron Age to antiquity to late antiquity, Middle Ages, early modern times, men will again start to assert themselves. Men will again start to assert themselves. They will be back. With little to keep them in check, men will feel emboldened to act on their biological instincts again. Why? Because they can. When civilization is in decline, survival and power play becomes priority. First world concerns and gains around women's rights, feminism, sexism, racism, homophobia, equality and justice for all will simply become peripheral concerns for the powerful in charge. It's all a luxury, an inconvenient hangover from the good old times, from the times of democracy and liberalism. Now, everything that was keeping you safe and cozy in your 21st century Manhattan apartment in the middle of a Western liberal democracy where women are respected and afforded equal rights no longer applies. It no longer applies here. Because the police are now corrupt, the magistrate is corrupt, your representative, if he can be called that, or shall I say your warlord. It will invariably be a he, of course, will also be corrupt. Not to mention, there is no money for installing CCTV or recruiting police to go on the beat. The few that exist will only come out after 48 hours, and even then they will most likely not catch the culprit because the culprit has bribed them.